What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Purple and Gold Bar Show. We are testing the new dual output on Streamlabs now, and because it's so much easier to organize the vertical option here. So hopefully you guys like both aspects. We'll be doing that going forward here. Today we got another hot take review. We are looking at good old brain dead Colin Cowherd, and I want to point out the glaring hypocrisy in Colin and his just stupidity. So, coming off a close, an almost comeback that just never materialized. JJ McCarthy and the Vikings did fall short against the Chicago Bears. And it basically, we talked about it on Monday's live about the situation, how it was pretty much expected. But I really wanted to take a moment to highlight the glaring hypocrisy here in Colin Cowherd. So we're going to get right into it here. But first, let's get the show intro going. All right, let's frackin' go, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so let's start with, hold on a second. Let me make sure we have, capture audio's on because I don't want to have that mistake again. Let's see what Colin Cowherd had to say about good old JJ McCarthy.
I think we have to be honest about this. JJ McCarthy had one really good drive at the end, and he deserves credit for it. But, John, this is not a highlight league. This is not the NBA. It is about sustained drives. It is about putting your team in situations to win. I got to tell you, I don't know what it is, but when you have Kevin O'Connell, good protection, decent run game, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison didn't, he had drops. I don't see it with JJ McCarthy, and I don't want to do confirmation bias. He hasn't had many starts. His arm is good enough. It's not an arm thing. He has a decent arm. But
okay, so you see how he's just overly pessimistic. We'll be polite and say that he's pessimistic, but the glaring hypocrisy we're about to see here, because you know, as bad as JJ McCarthy has played at times, he's also done a lot of great things and shown some flashes. I've been saying since before the season started that this season was going to be a roller coaster, and it's going to be a lot of flashes and a ton of growing pains. He wasn't asked to do much in college, so now he's having to learn and get up to par, and that's going to take time. On top of the fact that he is playing in November the games that he should have been playing in September. Hey, what's going on, Samuel? Hopefully the shirt came in. I'm going to send you an email with the tracking number because it should have arrived. So, no, it should be working. I don't know why it is not. It's showing that it's my end. Very, very weird. But anyways, yeah, it's very interesting to say because this is what Colin had to say about Sam Darnold. Oh, what is going on? My computer's acting up. It's not responding. Oh, come on. The perfect time to have some technical difficulties right in the middle of a live here. But we will see. Come on now. Are you kidding me? Gotta love technical difficulties, especially when I'm trying to make a point here. Let's see. Why are none of my tabs doing the same thing? Well, this is annoying. Let's just close that one. Probably going to close all my browsers. Yeah, of course it is. Let's open everything up again. Music.
Because it's not even a Kubiak.
Right, Seattle.
All right. Sweet. It actually refound the... Nice. Okay. So we heard what Colin had to say about JJ McCarthy and struggling all game and almost coming up with the comeback. It's just not good enough. Oh, confirmation bias. I've seen enough. Now let's see what he had to say about Sam Darnold.
Seattle loses to the Rams. Rams 21, Seahawks 19. Pretty remarkable that with 4 Sam Darnold interceptions, Seattle, which I think their rosters, I think defensively they got so many dudes. First of all, these two defenses, there's just nothing. I felt bad for Sam Darnold. There's just, if a ball gets tipped in the air, it's picked. There's very little. What? I mean, thank God for JSN. It's just hard to have plays. It's hard to have successive plays against the Rams defense that hit. You can hit one and then it's backwards. But I was thinking about this because the Rams jump out to a very quick lead. It's very impressive. And then they have to hold on. Oh. But I was, here's the thing that jumped out to me. The Rams defense in the red zone, number one, if you didn't watch the game, the Rams defense in the red zone kept forcing Seattle into field goals. So that was the early portion of the game. The second portion was they kept intercepting Sam Darnold. But this struck me during the game.
Okay.
If Stafford would have thrown 4 picks, Seattle would have blown the Rams out, would have blown their doors off. How can Seattle stay with them? And my takeaway is this. Matt Stafford, John, is play call reliant. He is as good as the play call, right? Sam's not. If the play breaks down, Sam can create a second play, sometimes a third with his legs. The weakness with the Rams, because there is no weakness defensively, their corners aren't great, but Forbes now, Emmanuel Forbes is playing really well. He's a nice corner, probably a number 2 corner, but he's a good corner. Their safeties are good, their pass rush. Stafford's not giving you anything off the play call. Now, he can get in and out of stuff pre-snap, but if the play breaks down or it's just stuffed, the play's over. I feel like with Darnold, I mean, when Matt Stafford is reckless and has a bad day, Rams get hammered. But Seattle doesn't because, they dominate time of possession. Got in the second and third quarter. Seattle had the ball for 20 minutes. The Rams had it for 3. I mean, again, there is...
But Colin, what about sustained drives and excellence? It can't just be highlights. Colin Cowherd. The hypocrisy is insane on this one. So, you mean to tell me what a fantastic game? Even though Sam Darnold threw 4 picks and basically threw the game away, wasn't it incredible that he almost brought it back and won the game? Holy moly, it was 21-19. Holy moly. It sounds, by the way that Colin tells the story, it was one of the greatest games ever played by a quarterback. 4 interceptions. Let's be real here. The only reason that he does this is because he likes Sam Darnold and he hates the Vikings for moving on from him. Because we know what he refuses to accept. That Sam Darnold is not a guy that has the ability to put the cape on and carry a team. Let's be real. We saw it last year against the Lions in Week 18 and then against the Rams in the playoffs. So I'm looking at it and I'm going, Colin. So you mean to tell me it was an amazing job that Sam Darnold almost got it, almost pulled it out the fire and won 4 interceptions. It was incredible. According to Colin, it was the greatest performance a quarterback's ever had in a loss. But then, when it comes to JJ McCarthy, it's all about sustained excellence. It's sustained drives. You can't just be coming away with field goals and doing nothing all game and then expect to win in the last drive. All credit where credit is due. The last drive was great by JJ. Colin, suck a big fat one. Let's be real. We know that you have a hate for the Minnesota Vikings because we moved on from your golden boy. You've been caping for fucking Sam Darnold since he got into this league. And now, look at it. He threw 4 interceptions and it was The greatest game I've ever seen. Oh, if only some dropped balls and some of those drives that ended up being nothing. If you would have completed, it would have been a blowout. Because Matt Stafford throws 4 interceptions and it's a blowout loss. But not Sam Darnold. You know, he can move and create plays with his feet. Bro, give me a break. This is why you shouldn't trust the mainstream media. Because one, not only are they extremely biased for certain players for certain reasons, and on top of that, they don't actually do enough homework on any one of their takes to have actual real context to give you guys a real perspective on the matter. Let's be real. They just give you highlight takes or whatever. They look at the surface and they go, oh, wow. It had to have been horrible. And then they look at the same freaking results from another guy that they like. Oh, what an incredible game. 4 interceptions and they almost won. But yet, JJ McCarthy struggles and actually comes up with the drive at the very end. Oh, I've seen enough. Yeah, it doesn't matter that he's only had 5 starts. Well, you know, he just doesn't have it. It's about sustained drives. What about Sam Darnold and sustained drives? 4 interceptions? Do you think those are sustained drives? Do you think that all the other drives that he didn't do anything with? What was that? Oh, but it was 21-19 against the Rams, the best team in the league. According to Colin, the Bears are one of the best teams in the league too. Oh, JJ almost brought it out. You don't hear that from him. Oh, but man, did you see that final drive? Can you believe it? As bad as JJ McCarthy played, he almost won the game. Consistency in your arguments and the things that you freaking hold on to as the caveats that you throw out there, so easily given to one team or to another player, but not to others that you don't like. It's funny how that works. That's why we're going to keep farming the lol cow that is Colin Cowherd on this channel, because that's what he is. Hey, what's going on? Zoe, what's going on, Purple Jesus? Absolutely, bro. The absolute brain deadery, the brain dead Colin is all I could think of when I put on the Chiron here today. Because, like, really, how stupid can you be to not even realize your own hypocrisy? Literally, you go from talking Seahawks Rams to the next thing talking about the Vikings Bears, literally one segment apart. And you have a completely different take with basically the same situation. Not 1-to-1, of course, right? But 2 quarterbacks that struggled and played bad, that almost won the game regardless of how bad they played. But one is praised and the other one is, oh, I've seen enough. This is why Colin Cowherd is a freaking joke. This is why we like doing hot takes reviews on this moron, because the hypocrisy. You guys remember a couple years ago when he said the Browns are going to take over that division and they're not going to relinquish it for another few years. They couldn't even win the AFC North that year that he called it out. Remember when Mike White had two awesome starts, his first 2 starts? Oh, he's a future franchise quarterback. Mike White. What happened to that, Colin? Absolute lunacy. This is why you can't trust the mainstream media. That's why you got to dig a little deep. Watch the whole game, maybe, instead of just the highlights. JJ, did you look at the box score? So what? At the end of the game, when things needed to happen, JJ pulled off a touchdown drive. Yeah, it wasn't Tom Brady-esque where he milked the clock perfectly and threw the touchdown with 2 seconds left on the clock and left no chance for the Bears. Yeah, but Brady was doing that after how many decades in the league and had developed that skill set and worked on it for years and years and years. Hey, guess what? In 5 games, JJ has almost 2 comeback wins in situations where he played bad. Can you imagine? This kid is playing at like a 30% efficiency right now. Hopefully by the end of the year, he's like 50, 55, maybe 60% efficiency, but which won't be great. Let's be real, honest about it. But at that rate, when he does make these comeback drives, or when he tries to put on the cape, because let's not doubt each other or kid each other. JJ McCarthy has the ability to put the cape on. He hasn't been Superman for more than 5 games. You remember in the Superman movies, whenever Clark Kent puts on the suit for the first time, he's jumping up, can't fly. He can't use his laser vision. He can't control his strength. And then as the movie goes on, holy crap, there is an emergency. Looks like there is a child that, oh man. Hopefully they find him. But anyways, in the movies, when Superman, eventually he gets to the point where he can put this cape on and he is Superman. He is the guy. There's a growing portion of it. Remember that montage that they put at the beginning of the right after he puts on the cape, and he does, like, the most recent one, was it the guy from The Witcher, right? He jumps up and he can't fly and he falls back down and takes down a mountain. Oh, but you know what was there the entire time? Potential. The ability, the willingness to put the cape on and try. That's something that Sam Darnold doesn't have, and he probably will never have. All he can do is develop the poise and the ability to handle the pressure accordingly, and hopefully him and his team together can make playoff runs, because he's not going to be that guy that when they go down 2 scores, he's just going to put the cape on and just have that all-world confidence to beat teams. That's just not who he is. Let's be real. He's never been that guy. Well, maybe in the USC days, maybe a couple times, but let's be real. Since he came into the NFL and the Jets broke his confidence, he ain't never been that guy. He struggles for a reason when he's in those situations. And guess what? This weekend, it looks like the ghosts of Christmas past were all over his freaking, in his head. Remembering that playoff game last year when the Rams absolutely ate his lunch, put belt to ass. And they just kept one interception. We could probably excuse the rest of them. That one where he forced the pass, falling backwards off one foot. That's him trying to be Superman. Oh, but that was, guys, he almost brought it back. He almost won the game. It was 21-19. What an all-time classic, according to Colin Cowherd, the brain-dead idiot. Oh, but JJ McCarthy, hey, you know, it's only his 5th game in the league. He's freaking extremely young, and he's still growing and developing. Well, I've seen enough. Whatever. But you know what? I guarantee you that by the end of the season, when he's completing, or when he's efficient at his job at a more like a 50, 55, 60%, he's going to look a hell of a lot better. And some of these games are going to look a lot more competitive. And then going into next year, after a whole offseason of him reflecting and putting in the work in, and then training camp, he's going to come in at like 70, 75, and then by the end of the year, he might be up there as one of the best quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in the league. Because that's how development works. JJ McCarthy isn't a natural talent, okay? He's not a savant. He's not one of those guys that you can just tell him exactly what to do, and by just hearing what you say and why you're supposed to do things, he just does it perfectly with very little mistakes. I've trained people like that, both as a trainer as well as a trainer of employees, where you just tell someone, this is what we do, this is how we do it, and they just run with it, and it's just like they've been doing it for years. And then there's other guys that do it that need a little bit of guidance and still do it at a higher level and maybe not as efficient as a savant, but they are pretty darn good, and they don't have that big of a learning curve. And then there's guys that I call resilient learners, where they have all the potential in the world. They have all the understanding. They put in the work, even more so than you would expect. But they need to do it on the job and make the mistakes in order for it to really hit home. And guess what? Through that resilience and that willingness to push through the failures, they grow and eventually become one of the guys that you're like, holy crap, This guy's one of the best employees that I've ever trained. I've seen that multiple times. I've also seen guys that learn at a different level and they can only get to a slightly above average competence because they put in the work and they have a little bit of talent. You know, someone like Bo Nix, right? Then there's other guys that literally, no matter how much coaching, no matter how much training or insight you gave them, they're just barely competent. But it's sometimes for some jobs that's good enough. And then there are other guys that no matter how hard you give them all the information, no matter how much you help them with accuracy, like Tim Tebow, for example. Not to pick on Tim because I really like Tim because he's he's a man of faith like I am, but yeah, like he couldn't fix his throwing mechanics. No matter how much he worked on it, he just couldn't do it. And he just could not elevate to the point of being able to be competent at it. Then there's those guys that just cannot be taught. And those guys are the guys that we fire or let go. But you know what? We'll see how it turns out at the end of the season once JJ McCarthy continues to get more reps, continues to have more games. Let's not forget that he should have been having these games in September and October. Not November when everybody's starting to freaking buckle down and try to make playoff runs, making it even harder to an environment to learn in. But you know what? That's what happens when you win 14 games and you have a harder schedule than a Caleb Williams that won 5 games last year and has had one of the easiest schedules in the league. And guess what? Even though freaking Caleb Williams is so good, according to Colin Cowherd, the man was pedestrian yesterday or on Sunday. Average at best. Oh, but he's so good. When he plays a good defense, he struggles. And guess what? As the season goes on and he plays more playoff-like games, more games that are of substance, we're going to see how good Caleb Williams is. And we're going to see how JJ McCarthy progresses. And next year, we'll see what he actually is made of when he's had that time to develop. So, I'm going to bank on what I know, and I've seen guys like this, like JJ before, in both areas of training that I've done. And those are the guys that I gamble on and I bet on because they have the right mindset, they have the work ethic, and they have this delusional confidence in themselves that regardless of what goes wrong, they will figure it out. Something that Sam Darnold will never have, something that Daniel Jones will never have, something that Jared Goff will never have. Remember a few weeks ago, Jared Goff is going to be a future Hall of Famer. How's that take looking like now, Colin? Absolute buffoon. But there you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoyed clowning on Mr. Colin Cowherd, the new Skip Bayless. The thing with Skip Bayless, though, is that when he gave these wild takes, like I remember the one day where he was on First Take and he was like, you know what? I think right now as a 67-year-old or however old Michael Jordan was at the time, I think he could beat LeBron James. And this is like LeBron like in his prime. You know what I mean? Absolutely. At least he was having fun with it. He had a grin. You knew he was trolling. He wasn't being serious. Colin acts like he's serious, like he acts like he's a freaking genius. Except for he never acknowledges when he has some of these I've never seen him go, yeah, you know what? I guess Mike White wasn't a franchise quarterback. Oh, yeah, I guess the Browns weren't going to take over that division. Oh, yeah, Jared Goff is looking like more pedestrian than ever. Yes, it was USPS, man. I'll email you the confirmation number. But anyways, where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong. It's almost always where Colin was wrong. Because every single take that he has is superficial and trying to sound intellectual like he's some sort of football genius. If he was some sort of football genius, we'd get accurate like predictions or things like that. Unbelievable. A couple weeks ago, he said, oh yeah, the Chiefs are going to make the Super Bowl. They're going to win the next 3 or 4, whatever he said. Absolutely clown show. You know, there you have it, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I really appreciate it, every single one of you. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. Take care, guys. I love you all.